Hello, guys, and welcome back to the broadcast. Take two. We are live, so you can, if you're on YouTube, you can join in. And at the moment, we don't have anybody in, so we'll give it a bit. We're a little bit about 13 minutes late, and we're supposed to be here at 7 o'clock. And I'm a few minutes late here. I'm going to move that over there. And get rid of a little bit of this here now. Bear in mind, guys, it's a one-man show. I don't have a technical behind me having to do everything. I got to do it all myself here. So bear with me. And we should be... We got two. So how's the sound, guys? You can hear me okay? Everything's good? I think this is a bit too much there. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, that's too dark. That's too dark. I don't know, maybe that's better. Where is that thing? Oh, well, I guess we'll just a minute. Where is it? Where is that thing? Oh. Huh. Well, I can't find it, and if I wanted to. But I know it's here somewhere. I can't. Oh, here we go. Okay, another light here. Just so that you guys can see me. I think that's a little bit too big, though. Okay, we'll give it that. And we got some joining in here. We got two in here now. I'm a little bit late, so I'm going to give it a little bit of time. Let guys get in here. I want to thank you for coming to the broadcast today and staying enlightened with what's going on in our country and how they're doing it, because that's what we're going to get into today. The narrative, how the CBC is playing the narrative with your heads. So let's give it some time, guys, and let them get in here. Share it out there if you can. And we'll get started here in a bit here. And this thing, I don't know. I'll bet you this thing. I don't know why. I don't know why. Restore, postpone. I don't know why this thing keeps coming up here. Just a minute. Damn thing. 4 hours postpone. Let's try that. Okay. Is that any better? I hope it is. So today we're going to get into a bit of the narrative, how the CBC and the CTV and the global TV, what their little role in this thing is what we're going to get into tonight. And sort of the effects as to, after they've pumped out that narrative for over 8 months, the same thing over and over and over and over. And we're going to get into that. If we can get some people in here. We only got one guy in here now, two. You want to share it out, guys? Share it up on Facebook or something that we are live on YouTube. And come on up here. Come on. You want a drink? Oh, Coco Boy wants a drink. Okay, Coco Boy. I'll get you a drink. There you go. Okay, where are we at here? Well, we got 3 in here, eh? Well, this is a costly endeavor to get information out to you. So let's get it out there, guys. Let's wake them up. I'm sure we can share this out. I am live. We'll be live for a bit. And we're going to get started here pretty soon because time is wasting for all of us. Hi, how you doing? Facts and feelings, how you doing? And Johnny Blade's on. April's on. Thanks, guys, for coming in. Okay, so as you all know, over the weekend, I went to a rally in Regina. And here's what I'm going to try. Oh, no. I have to do this on my tablet. So this is going to be interesting. We're going to see how this works out here. I want to do this so you see it live on what I got here. Okay, see, I wonder if you can see that. I'm going to try and get this so you can see this. Wait a minute. I don't know how you can do this. I'm going to show that like that. Okay, this. Listen to the speech, guys.
What's that?
I can't run the visual. You're gonna have to do it by ear. Here.
Hey guys, we got another special speaker here with us, and his name is Ruddi Brucebroadcasting. So here we go, Ruddi Bruce. Welcome.
Good afternoon. I see we got all together here on a beautiful sunny day. Yay! Wonderful. We had a dancer here, amazing. There it is. Give him a round of applause. Beautiful weather. Of course, this is Canada. We're Canadians. We're used to this.
Oh, where is it? What's that?
I have a message.
Can I grab it?
I don't know if many of you watch the show.
I'm good.
Yeah. I have a message for Scott Moe and what's that public health minister's name? Shahab? Sharif? Shahor? I can't get these foreigners' names right. Anyway, are you shitting me? I mean, this is ridiculous. Okay? This is a lie. This COVID-19 shit is a lie. They have not isolated a gene. They haven't isolated a germ. They haven't identified what the scare is. It's bullshit. It's total bullshit. Oh, where's CBC News here? You gotta get a good look. It's bullshit.
CDC sucks! CDC sucks! CDC sucks! CDC sucks! CDC sucks!
What a
don't you get the hell out of here? Who the hell needs you? Where are the news now?
This is awesome. I'm taking it all now.
8 months of this lie. 8 months every friggin' day. These guys are on the media telling you about COVID-19. COVID-19. Every friggin' day. COVID-19. Get the fuck out of here.
They are leaving.
Get your
Right on.
asses out of here. Oh yeah.
Pack up.
Shame on you. Shame on you, you bastards. Get the hell out of here. I'll give you some news. CBC's bullshit. Defund the CBC.
They are leaving too, aren't they?
We all have to stand together. And that's what we're doing here today. Take that, CBC. The Canadians stand together. How about that for a headline? Fake news. Fake news. Ladies and gentlemen, I first of all want to thank all of you for coming out here today and standing for what's right in this country. Not theirs to give away.
That's
And
right.
that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to undermine all of us Canadians and give our country away to the United Nations. Bullshit. Where our country is not for sale.
Right on.
Our rights are not for sale. I was born in this country, and many of you were born in this country. We're all sovereign Canadians to this country, and our country is not.
I'm doing live on YouTube right now. Yeah. I'll call you after.
Who's next?
Yeah, I seen that. Okay.
Anyway, I'm Ruddi Bruce. I push the Ruddi Brucebroadcast on Facebook, and I got banned for 3 friggin' days for saying COVID-19 is a scam. Now, if you can't tell the truth on Facebook, what the hell have we got here coming on us? We got a bunch of rich pricks coming out and trying to screw every one of you and tell you, put a vaccine in your arm because COVID-19. It's crap. It's total crap, and that is total crap. We have to get out there. We have to tell everybody what's going on here in this country.
That's
We
right.
built this country. They didn't. We built this country. The traitor of Canada, Mr.
Oh, really?
Well, whatever his name was. The traitor of Canada didn't build this country. These phony ministers telling you about this sickness is not the guys that built this country. They didn't fight for this country, but they sure want to take it away from you.
Ethan,
What are we
I
gonna
sent
do
to him,
about
eh?
We're gonna stand
Yeah, Ruddi.
and fight. This is our country, not theirs. Mark, here you go.
Ruddi Bruce, everyone.
So that was the speech on Saturday in Regina. And then Monday, Scott Moe and his health minister are out there talking more about how racist that speech was. Well, I could play it for you again because there was nothing that I could see in there that was racist other than having a hard time pronouncing the health minister's name and rights being taken away and anxiety level is extreme. And he's more concerned about a racial slur when it wasn't a racial slur, because if he came to Canada, he obviously, like anybody else coming to Canada, you know, they have to join in with the culture in this country, I would think. I mean, that's just respect for the ones that are already in the country. You come to join in with Canadian culture. And part of that Canadian culture is being able to take a little, a little bit of sense of humor there, you know? I mean, if you don't have a little sense of humor and you're the public health minister, what the hell have we got going on here? It seems more like the public health minister and the ministers in our country, along with the traitor of Trudeau, like the traitor of Canada, Mr. Trudeau himself. It seems more like maybe they're more interested in that payoff money, you know, because they're not looking into open debate. They're not looking into the real science of this COVID-19. They're not looking at the other side of the coin. They're only imposing all these tyrannical moves, like put a mask on and social distance yourself and do what you're told, because we're telling you this is the way it is. The new normal is. Well, you know something? The new normal is a lie. It's not a new normal. It's a takeover of our country, of our rights, of our standard of living. That's all being flushed down the toilet because all these agendas they're coming in with to change, alter, control measures is what's going on. And when you talk about the other side of the coin, like, hey, there's two sides to this coin, there's other science in here that they're not looking at. Why is that? Then you have to ask yourself what the fuck is going on. And the more you look into it, the more you find out. And now we've already found out that the PCR testing that they're doing is outrageous. It's not even, it shouldn't even be a part of a pandemic situation at all, because it's all false readings after a certain cycle. After the 19th cycle, beyond that is a false reading. And they're at 40. So what is really going on? Whenever you go in to get a test, everybody's going to test positive. That's why the numbers, all of a sudden, we've got all these numbers. Like there's something going on. When there isn't something going on, you're being manipulated. Your heads are being played with. That's why the consistent bombardment of COVID-19 on the news, okay? It's a brainwashing tool so that every time you turn in to see what's going on in our country, maybe this has changed, maybe this whole thing is going away. Oh no, they keep leading you down the path. They keep leading you down the path of bullshit. And that is the distraction. Because as we're going through this so-called pandemic, they're coming up with all kinds of other rules and doing all kinds of other spending and letting in the Chinese army into tactical training and covering it up, etc., etc. There's lots going on. All you got to do is look at the news. I mean, not the mainstream news, the social media news. Because we're the guys out there trying to get you as much information about what's going on and the lie as possible. Because we have to be informed besides, watching bullshit mainstream media news. Because so far they've done a pretty bang up job of this one. So that's where you got to sit with the news. Yes. Oh, definitely. Anyway, after I did that speech, Mark Friesen, now I got nothing against Mark. Okay, he's heart and soul is in this movement like every one of us. Everybody has a point of view. Everybody has an opinion. And that is what freedom is all about. Okay? So, now, Mark is an ex-officer. A lot of you know Mark Friesen. And you know that he's got a channel, and he calls himself the, Wild Patriot or something. But you know Mark Friesen. So Mark Friesen gave a speech before I did, and I had kicked out the news, okay? And they went off to the sideline way at the bottom. Now, Mark Friesen, after he had done his speech, he went down to go talk with this mainstream media, only he was recording everything that he was telling them. And now I haven't seen the news reports of the CBC or the CTV of Mark's interview, okay, with CBC. But here is what Mark had to say. First, he's interviewing with CTV.
I did not run to a doctor. I did not rush for a test. I did not get any.
Cool. So I have a question. What are you guys doing here today? So there's two major points that we're here expressing and really demanding of our government. Number one is respect the Constitution and the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. We don't believe that they've done that with the measures they've taken. And under the Constitution, it is the onus is on the government to prove demonstrably that the measures that they're taking are appropriate for the circumstance. So that's, we don't have a premier who is threatening to fine people for simply expressing themselves, for simply exercising their rights under the Charter. So that's number one, respect the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Number two is open the debate. There are too many experts, too many scientists, too many doctors that are being muzzled, that are being stifled and censored, deplatformed with their information that the public en masse is not getting, and it needs to be entered into the debate. So that's the second point: is open the debate, open free and fair discussion and debate on these issues, on the measures being taken.
Question I was going to ask. What's my mind? Oh yeah. So I've heard a few people say you've been in contact with the police. Do you expect any fines today?
No, we don't. You know, the police are in a bit of a tough spot. Police officers, and I know this, I was a police officer for 25 years. I took an oath, I know that they took an oath, and that oath is to uphold the Constitution. There is question within the police, within government, whether or not they have the right to issue fines. And the fines, to my knowledge, the ones that I'm aware of, that were defended by the Justice Center of Constitutional Freedoms, John Carpel, letters he's written to the Crown in defense of people who receive fines have been thrown out. The fines have been thrown out because of what we say and how we discuss and promote the Charter and what the Charter says. So, police are in a tough spot, constitutionally. They take an oath. That oath isn't given to their supervisors. It's not given to their chief of police. It's not given to politicians. The oath that they take is on behalf of Canadians and our country. So, and a lot of them understand that and they respect that oath immensely.
What is it in particular about public health orders that you see, I guess, what is it, I guess, about it that you see as the biggest restriction on your freedom? Like, you're still able to hop in a car and drive down here, drive on an open road, gather here, say whatever you want. I mean, there's a lot of freedom in there. So I guess, what is it about, the officials at least are saying are designed to protect each other, protect the healthcare system. What is it about those restrictions that aren't worth sacrificing temporarily?
So, I'll give you an example. On Monday, after a rally in Saskatoon, Dennis Scott-Miller on the legislature said that he was very concerned about the rally, but more concerned that people like me are promoting it and encouraging people to quote-unquote break the law. So that's a concern. That tells me that he's trying to limit my freedom to express myself. So that's a concern. In regards to the measures, I have no problem with the recommendation to wear masks, as really nobody did. There were people that were defending their position of not wearing one, but I mean, nobody should be dictating to anybody whether they should put a mask on. Now, in regards to masks, there are people that have genuine medical concerns that struggle and cannot wear a mask. And we're having stores refuse them service. That's a concern. That's an attack on somebody's rights and freedoms. Businesses are going under because of these measures. The economy is struggling. People are committing suicide because of these measures. These measures go against the right to life in some cases. And so it's extremely important that again, respect the Constitution. The Constitution should be the guide, first and foremost. And then when you come up with measures, make sure they're based on all the science and make sure they're based on and demonstrably proven that they're effective for the circumstance.
So is it fair to say that you, I guess, personally are disputing the fact that there is a new virus that is affecting some people, but more the necessity of the lengths we've gone to? You aren't the kind of person that's up there saying COVID's not real. I mean,
right. I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to stand and declare that COVID isn't real. I have some serious questions about it. I have some serious questions about what this is. All of a sudden, we don't have a flu anymore. That raises some questions and some flags in my critical thought process. The bottom line is these measures are in place based on a PCR test that has been proven in courts of law around the world to be unreliable within the parameters of amplification that they declare as reasonable. Saskatchewan is basing it on a PCR test that amplifies it by 40, which renders the test useless, according to the science. Nobody hears that. Nobody understands that. So people need this goes back to where we need the message, we need information getting to the people from all sides.
Today, the province said 11 people died in the last 24 hours from COVID-19. I mean, do you believe what they're saying, and do you think that is, what do you make of that? Do you not think of that?
Well, so there's a number of issues that come up with that. These deaths, are they COVID related, or are they due specifically to COVID? Right? Is there comorbidities involved? So that's the first question that we never get answered. We don't know if it's COVID related or flu related or whatever. There's a lot of different variations to these deaths. So nobody really knows that. When you talk about the virus in itself, the recovery rate is 99.7% for anybody under the age of 80. Why are we destroying our economy based on those numbers? Right? So it's sad. Of course, it's sad every year when people die from the flu or influenza or pneumonia or whatever it is they die. Of course, it's sad anytime somebody dies. But from a societal perspective, these are the numbers are within expected numbers throughout any year.
And what do you make of the argument that this is novel and that while the deaths might not be like, And when the same as if a bomb was dropped in the city, it could potentially overwhelm the healthcare system and delay other surgeries, potentially result in people getting lower quality care than they should be, and expediting their illnesses. Like, what do you make of that argument?
Well, so every year before 2020, we heard the narrative from nursing unions, from others, saying that the hospital's overwhelmed. We've heard this every year because of the flu, especially 2018. 2018 was a bad flu year. We heard plenty of how the hospitals are overwhelmed. This year is no different. The hospitals are overwhelmed, as they are every year, and we need to adapt to that. Maybe the government needs to hire more staff. Maybe they need to build more beds. I don't know what the answer is. That's their job to figure out. But it's no different than any other year that we've had overwhelmed hospital situations. Now, I've also heard other things on the reverse, that the hospitals, what they're saying isn't true. And I'm talking to people in the hospital that tell me that it's not like what they're reporting in the media. So there's problems there. The other thing that's happening, I believe, is because of the fear that's been instilled in everyone. Somebody gets the flu like they would any year, they panic and they get scared and they think they might have the COVID, so they go to the hospital. And most years they would stay at home, they would eat their chicken soup, and they would recover. So I think there's a lot of that happening as well.
What's next for you guys? More rallies? Do you plan, somehow take this challenge of the constitutionality or whether the constitutional code or anything? Like, what's next for this movement?
Well, there's a lot of different things. I mean, it really depends on how the government responds. If they open up the debate, if they tell us they're going to start respecting the Constitution, then we'll all go away. But there is we have to determine what's going to happen, what is our next step. But the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedom, John Carpe and his group, are suing provinces for these measures. So we're looking forward to seeing how that goes through the process and how that falls out through that process.
Would you, if you were Canada fined, would you pay it, or would you just?
Oh, I would fight it. Absolutely, I would fight it. I would fight it tooth and nail. I would fight it as high as I have to fight it. Absolutely, and so would everyone else here.
There's somebody up there, I didn't catch his name, but he was the guy that was yelling at the CBC. He was saying something like Shabab, I can't pronounce these foreigners' names. I mean, what do you make of that? That seems, while the word could be debated, discriminatory or racist, I mean, do you find those comments to be even related to what we're talking about today?
Well, you know what? There's a lot of frustration. There's a lot of people that are frustrated. This is about freedom, and sometimes people's speech make people uncomfortable. It made me uncomfortable. It made other people uncomfortable. But it is just people say things that make people uncomfortable. His words didn't represent me. They don't represent the people. A lot of maybe they represent some of the people that are here. Maybe they represent some of the population. I don't know, but he has a right to speak, and he has a right to say, other than, of course, inciting hate or inciting violence, which we, of course, strongly denounce, and we have from day one, and we'll continue to.
Anything else to add?
No, I think that's about it.
Cool. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, you betcha.
So now that's the end of the CBC or CTV. Now it goes on to CBC. Listen to this.
Was kind of very I mean, I guess this is like a different point of view in the situation.
It's a different point of view. We're all about freedom. We're about freedom of speech. He speaks to the people that listen to him, and that's, obviously I would prefer that we cut out the swearing for the kids.
We'll just start recording so you can just go on.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So I prefer obviously that our speakers, respect the little ones that are here, because there are families and they're youngsters, and so if we can, keep it that way, then that's good. But again, this is free speech. This is people expressing and exercising the right of free speech, and it may be uncomfortable for people. That's life. That's there's a lot of things I say that people interpret as being terrible. There's a lot of people that think what I say is representing their values. So you're never going to make everyone happy, but of course we do want to respect the little ones. So
personally, I guess your involvement to the organization of today's protest. What are your requests towards the government? What are you asking?
We have 2 points that I think are extremely important in the situation that we're in. Those 2 points are, number one, the government has a duty, the premier, the MLAs have a duty to uphold the Constitution and the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. The only time they're allowed to limit those freedoms is when they have demonstrably proven that their measures are appropriate for the circumstance. That's out of the Constitution. We don't believe they've done that. We don't believe they've done it. They're basing all of their measures on case numbers, based on then a PCR test that has been proven in courts of law around the world to be unreliable, even staying within the recommended parameters of amplification. In Saskatchewan, we're using 40 times amplification from the information I've received, rendering that test useless. So we're testing a whole bunch of people. The numbers are going up. The government's reacting to public opinion, which in most cases is derived from the media narrative, rather than some opposing views and opposing experts and virologists and doctors that share the same views that I'm expressing to you now. So that's number one. Respect the Constitution. Honor the fact that we have a right to express ourselves, to assemble. Number two is open the debate. Tied into number one. Open the debate, open the discussion to opposing viewpoints from experts, from doctors. I have an email list considerably long of doctors contacting me, scared to open their mouths, scared that they're going to be disciplined for voicing their not only opinions, but their evidence. We've seen Dr. Hodkinson, who testified in the city council here in Edmonton, being threatened by the College of Physicians, he said, because it's opposing the narrative. Nobody in the media has reached out to Dr. Hodkinson. Nobody has said, let's put Dr. Hodkinson, let's put his evidence to some scrutiny. Let's put these claims to public scrutiny, to the masses, so we can all judge for ourselves and have all the information. Right now, the information is locked down. It's locked down by the media. It's locked down by our politicians. And we have to change that. We have to open the debate. We are in a free and democratic country. We lead the world in freedom. Why aren't we having these debates in the public for all to understand and see and weigh for themselves to see if this is reasonable or not?
Not too long ago, the host of the podcast was very, harsh towards CBC Metro Canada. You just mentioned freedom of speech. Do you think that this guy has right to insult us like he did, forcing us to leave? I mean,
everyone has a right to offend another person. People's feelings get hurt all the time. So does he have a right? Absolutely. Would that be the way that I address you? Obviously not. But does he have a right? Yes, of course he does. He's a free person. There's a lot of frustration with the media. There's a lot of frustration with how the media presents these rallies. I mean, the media in general has referred to us as an anti-mask rally. But we're not. We've been a freedom rally for weeks. Is mask part of the equation? Of course it is. But we're not an anti-mask rally.
So what do you say? What do you say to family grieving, deaths? What do you say for, children losing their classes, people losing jobs? I mean, this is like something that, humanity never faced like before, 100 years ago.
But the virus isn't shutting down the economy. The virus isn't killing small business. The virus isn't killing jobs. The virus isn't hurting small children not going to school and activities. The government is doing that. This is a virus that has 99.7% recovery for anyone under the age of 80. And that's not to suggest that we don't care about people over 80, but as in regular years, every year behind this, the numbers are relatively the same and people die. It's unfortunate, it sucks, but people die from the flu.
So could you say that, your parents, you're telling that, your parents might die from that, and, this is just part of the equation. This is just part of the numbers.
Of course not. What I'm saying is, if in a regular flu season, like every other flu season that I've been alive for 49 years, we tell mom, when she's elderly, be careful. The flu, it can be dangerous. So take precautions. They live their lives.
So you don't think that, the particularity of the current situation across the world. So you don't think that this is, the government should put more measures controlling maybe a little bit more people?
Absolutely not. We are individuals. Individuals should determine their health care. Individuals should determine what measures or precautions they should take based on all the information.
Okay.
Right? And that's a problem.
Thank you, Mark. You're from Saskatchewan?
Yeah, Saskatoon.
Saskatoon? Okay. I appreciate it for your time.
No problem.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Thank you.
Yep.
Contact with Regina Police Service since Monday every single day, and they have been nothing.
All right. So that was the CBC. We'll see how they destroy that.
They've been nothing but.
There you have it. Oh, that was the interviews after the rally on Saturday. And that was the news team. I kicked the hell out of there because there are a lot of fake news. As you just heard Mark's interviews, that was the reality. That is the reality behind the protests, behind the people standing up. That's the reality, people. Okay? In a nutshell. It basically comes down to this tyrannical government is stepping all over our rights, and they're going to try and do everything they can to keep this little medical fiasco going, okay? And what it is a manipulation of the science, is what it is. That's why we got to keep up the pressure. That's why we can't be nice anymore. That's why we got to stand up for our rights and freedoms. Because that's what's at stake. It could be you tomorrow losing your jobs if you're not already out of a job. It could be you tomorrow moving on to the street. It could be you tomorrow getting a $2,800 fine for not wearing a mask, or put in jail for not being vaccinated. That's how important our rights are. And you have to stand up and fight back for your country. Because shit's going on. Now, I'm not a kind of guy that pussyfoots around language. I'm not the kind of guy that takes it in the back like this corrupt government is passing out. When I see something wrong in my country like this, I get involved, because tomorrow or the next day, they're going to take away something else, or they're going to take away more money out of you or something. It seems like this is a steady event. Every week there's a new piece of drama to this government because of its tyrannical moves and what it's doing and what it's doing it for. Because it sure as hell ain't for us to be putting out this false testing and producing all these numbers so that they can produce this so-called narrative with the press and brainwash you all to thinking that COVID-19 is real. You got to stop and think. There's another side of the coin trying to get out on the table its expression and its views, and it's being stifled like no tomorrow. Why? Because it sheds truth on their lie and their fraud. And the best thing that Scott might come out on Monday and talk about after the rally is the fact I couldn't pronounce his health minister's name properly. That they took it as being racist. Another deflection from getting to the truth, because my narrative was quite clear that it's a lie, that COVID-19 is a friggin' lie. And as you just heard Mark Friesen explain a lot of the technical end of it about the PCR testing being fraudulent. And every time you want to raise debate, oh, no, we don't want to hear what all these other doctors are doing. I mean, treating all these patients with this treatment and not one patient dies. We don't want to hear that, because that stops us from this big vaccine push where they're making lots of money off this little deal somehow, because there's lots to go around. If you want to vaccinate 37 million people, times that by what this vaccine costs per head, it's a lot of money. This whole thing is not about your health. It's about the money they're making off the Canadian backs of workers. And the obedience measures being put in there so that you go along with it, that you accept it, this vaccine. Heaven forbid people don't take our vaccine, because if that happens, well, I would say a lot of money wouldn't be made. They would end up with their vaccine up their ass. And apparently, another country canceled it because of the problems it was causing after people got their vaccination. So go ahead, you sheep. Take that vaccine, those ones that aren't standing up for the country and putting a stupid mask on your face. And the ones that want to criticize us guys out here trying to help by getting the message very clear. I hope that the ones that aren't standing up for this country and they're just going along for that paycheck, I hope you're first in line. Because I don't think it's going to work out too well for you in the end. And don't say I didn't told you so. So that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that'll be a mouthful right there. I want to thank you for coming into the broadcast, being a part of the broadcast. Don't forget about Patriots Uniting Canada on Facebook and the Yellow Jackets movement on Facebook, and the Ruddi Brucebroadcast group on Facebook, and the YouTube channel, Ruddi Bruce, getting the word out there. And here we are live. Now, I got banned off Facebook for 7 days, so I've moved my broadcast over here. And if you want to keep it on, I'll be on tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Thanks for joining in, guys. We'll try and get you some more information on what the heck is going on. So till next time, guys, I'm just getting the word out there. Thanks for joining.